The Lord be with you and good afternoon. I am Maria Cecilia Peñalba from BSc 1-12, and I am going to talk about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 25 and 26. But before we start, let me show you on what my discussion is all about.
For today's discussion, we're going to tackle about what is Article 25 to 26 of Universal Declaration of Human Rights all about, what is human rights, and right standard of living in the Philippines and in Finland. Next is right to security in the Philippines and Iceland, social protection, right to education, education for all, and last is maintaining peace and order.
So I've already showed you that today's discussion. So let me ask you a question. What is your idea about Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Anyone? Okay, you. Hmm. Historical document, correct. Anyone else? Consists of articles. Okay. All your answers are correct. So let me show you on what Universal Declaration of Human Rights is. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a milestone document in the history of human rights. It is drafted by representatives with legal and cultural background from all the regions of the world.
The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or UDHR, is a historic document that was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly at its third session on the 10th of December 1948 as Resolution 217 at the Palais de Chaillot in Paris, France. Consists of 30 articles affirming an individual's right, which, although not legally binding in themselves, have been elaborated in subsequent international treaties, economic transfers, regional human rights instruments, national constitutions, and other laws.
Ever since we all know that we have our own rights, right? Ever since we are born in this world until we die, we have our rights. So before I start my topic, let me show you what human rights is all about.
Human rights are rights inherent to all human beings, regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or any other status. Human rights includes the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and education, and many more. Everyone is entitled to these rights without discrimination.
So there you go. Each one of us is entitled of these rights. It is given to us without any discriminations or partitions. All these rights is inherent to all human beings, regardless of our differences. So let me show you some examples of our rights.
Some examples of human rights include the right to life, the right to liberty and freedom, the right to the pursuit of happiness, the right to live your life free from discrimination, the right to control what happens to your own body and to make medical decisions for yourself, the right to freely exercise your religion and practice your religious beliefs without the fear of being prosecuted for your beliefs. Also, the right to be free from prejudice on the basis of race, gender, national origin, color, age, or sex. The right to grow old, the right to a fair trial and due process of the law, the right to be free from cruel and unusual punishment, the right to be free from torture, the right to be free from slavery, the right to freedom of speech, and many more.
As you can see, these are the basic rights that we all know are given to us ever since. Their examples are the right to life, right to liberty and freedom, and right to live a life without discriminations. But we all know that not all these rights are being observed because of our differences, right? But we all know that our government is making ways just to protect each one of us from discriminations. So let's move to our next topic, which is the Article 25 of Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 25. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and of his family, including food, clothing, housing and medical care, and necessary social services, and the right to security in the event of unemployment, sickness, disability, widowhood, old age, or other lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond his control. Motherhood and childhood are entitled to special care and assistance. All children, whether born in or out of wedlock, shall enjoy the same social protection. A traditional list of immediate basic needs is food, including water, shelter, and clothing. Many modern lists emphasizes the minimum level of consumption of basic needs of not just food, water, clothing, and shelter, but also sanitation, education, healthcare, and internet.
Everyone has the right to a standard of living, adequate for health and well-being of himself and of his family, including food, clothing, housing, medical care, and right to security at times of need. These are all basic needs that, if you experience all of this, you are lucky enough. Lucky enough to be thankful for because not everyone can experience it. So appreciate whatever you have and make way to share it to others. The next is the standard of living. So, standard of living. It is the degree of wealth and material comfort available to a person or community. It is the way on how we actually live. It is the can we buy our needs? Are we eating and having the right nutrition? And are we living in a place where all our needs are given?
Those with more family members are more at risk of poverty in the Philippines. Bottom 10% of the population survive on the annual income of 1,641 US dollars, that is equivalent to 82,050 pesos. Being a nation that consists of islands surrounded by water, the Philippines is always at risk for environmental threats and natural disasters. Just remember the Typhoon Yolanda and Typhoon Undoy. In some areas, only about 30% of children complete their education, especially on the rural areas. The country is currently going through a record high inflation crisis that is greatly affecting the cost of food. The Philippines is one country that utilizes child laborers for some of its industries. Children are exposed in early labors due to poverty. There is a large crisis on the island of Mindanao, one of the three largest islands of the country, where two feuding groups of people have left the island in complete disarray. Next is those facing poverty conditions in the Philippines sometimes have no access to electricity, water, and proper sanitation facilities, just a few of the basic necessities human beings need. The country has strict laws involving the incarceration of children. The government is implementing a long term solution to tackle the poverty conditions people are facing. The plan is set to reduce poverty to at least 15% by the year 2022. While in Finland, about 83% of people say that they feel safe walking alone at night. The life expectancy for women is 83.5 years and 77.5 years for men. The child mortality rate in Finland is 4%, one of the lowest in the world. 1 in 10 young families with small children reported being food insecure. 69% of people aged 15 to 64 are employed. Finland spends less than 7% of its gross national product on healthcare. In 2017, the country began a 2-year-long basic income experiment. And also in 2017, the country allotted 10 million euros to help train 2,500 immigrants to find skilled labor jobs within 3 years.
I know you have seen the difference of the two countries. Filipinos are used for having big or extended families that can lead to poverty, that make us having a low standard of living and being a third world country or a developing country rather. I remember when way back 2013 or 2014 when I was in grade 7, our teacher told us that our country, Philippines, is a third world country and until now, it is a third world country. It seems like we have no progress. We are still developing and developing without even having a progress. So next is the right to security. Let me show you again a comparison of two countries, which is the Philippines and Iceland, towards their safety and security. Maybe you're thinking why Iceland, right? Because Iceland ranked first on the most safe place in the world. And let me show you why.
In our country, Philippines, there are high levels of street crimes and robberies, sometimes involving weapons and firearms. Some taxi drivers and their accomplices have robbed and harmed passengers, so avoid displaying cash or jewelries. Be particularly vigilant when traveling on public transport. Armed holdups have occurred in jeepneys and buses, mainly in larger cities like Metro Manila and Cebu. While in Iceland, as one of the safest countries in the world, the whole country gives the impression of being safe and secure. Going out late at night, going out alone, especially if you're a woman, is safe. In Iceland, there are no dangerous, venomous, or poisonous plants or animals. The only time you need to be vigilant are when you confronted natural phenomena such as the weather and the wildness of Iceland's outdoors.
Compared to Iceland, Philippines is known for being a dangerous country, but not necessarily means that the whole Philippines is a dangerous one. Maybe a few places. Filipinos are known for being a hospitable person in any occasions, and I think that's the first thing that comes in their mind when they think of the Philippines. And our crimes here in the Philippines are being supervised by the law enforcement agencies, and for me, it's a stepping stone towards a better nation and a safer place. Is social protection. It is defined as a set of policies and programs designed to reduce poverty by promoting efficient solutions that enhances their capacity to protect themselves against anything. There are a lot of programs being implemented by the government to protect their citizens' social protections. For examples are the PhilHealth, SSS or Social and Pag-ibig. By these programs, it helps to secure the citizens' future and many more.
Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 26. Everyone has the right to education. Education shall be free at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. Education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. It shall promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall further the activities of the United Nations for the maintenance of peace. Parents have a prior right to choose the kind of education that shall be given to their children.
That every one of us has right to education. Many of us are striving really hard to finish school because it is the only thing that cannot be taken away from us. I myself is holding on that because it is a stepping stone to pursue one's dream. Education shall be free and really is since daycare up until secondary. And on 2017, the Senate signed the Republic Act number 1093-1 or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act that promotes quality tertiary education for free and is a big help for our country. So, it is in your parents' choice if they want you in public or in a private schools where they can focus on what you really need. So if you are given a chance to study, learn as much as you can. Do your best and remember that you're lucky enough, so be thankful because there are children who wants to go to school but they can't, even though it's free. Thank you for listening, and God bless us all. And I'm leaving this quote for you.